Hello, folks. I'm coming to you 1 minute before 1:30 today. My wife told me that it was disconcerting that I was live. Did I know I was live? And that she was worried that in case I was going to like fart or something like that. But don't worry, I'm in complete control of my bodily functions. Okay, I just got the thumbs up from Fiona in the office, which means you can hear me loud and clear, I hope. So I'm going to turn my phone off, and I hope you have that luxury as well of turning your phone off. Look, I'm going to turn it all the way off, and I'm not going anywhere for the next half hour. We're just going to spend it together. I had to move my little shrine from the kitchen today because there was a man with a sledgehammer. It wasn't Peter Gabriel, it was another man in the back garden. So I was going to shout down to him, hey, we're doing meditation here, but I thought I would just, he looked like he's having so much fun. So I moved and I came to the front, and actually, if you look that way, you can see Glasgow. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'll turn it around later when we actually do the meditation. I mean, you're going to have your eyes shut anyway, so we'll play it by ear. Maybe you just want to keep looking at me and see how my beard is coming on and my hair is getting messier by the day. We're all going to need haircuts soon, folks. We're all going to have to learn. Right. So today's topic is healing. And we're not going to do anything supernatural here. What I'm thinking about, we're going to do something scientific here. We're not going to pray to the gods for healing as such. You can do that if you want, but I'm really interested in the connection between mind and body. It's much sort of talked about, and there is actually much scientific evidence of that connection. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here with the power of meditation. Sorry, excuse me while I just move that over. So always with the meditation, the mind is actually the crucial thing. We have so many destructive tendencies in our mind that fear and anxiety, and especially just now, obviously that's not doing anybody any good. It would be terrific if we could be calm all the time. And if you have the added stress, if you have the added difficulties of having an illness, or maybe you have chronic pain, or maybe you've actually you've got the virus, or somebody that has the virus. I mean, these are real things. These are real difficulties, and I absolutely acknowledge that. We're not just going to snap our fingers and think our way out of these things. But saying that, crucially, if we can keep a calm mind through these events, then it will absolutely help. It's got to help. And I know I keep repeating this. What an amazing training it is for the rest of our lives, to when we come up against difficulties, if we can face them with acceptance and with a peace of mind, it will set us up for the rest of our lives. Often in the classes that I go to in the in the Glasgow Kadampa Centre, the monks and the nuns down there, they're very, they just cut to the chase. They say, we're all going to get older. Our bodies are all going to fall apart anyway. So all the stuff that we do, training our bodies and looking after our bodies, is great, it's good, but it really is secondary to looking after your mind, because that's the thing that's going to last. That's the thing that's going to last all the way up, you know, to the so-called end. And you know, and you watching just now, um, there's probably going to be a split with people who believe that something goes on after we die, and or you simply believe that nothing goes on. But the mind is the thing that remains. That's the thing that's going to stay to the end. um, and I believe it's going to be with us a lot longer than that. So I want to get my mind in order, and I hope you feel that way too. And even if you don't exactly feel that way, then it is just it is really good to for everything. Funnily enough, you, um, it's good for your body to have a healthy mind, in the same way that it's good for your mind to have a healthy body. But I would say it's almost more important to have a healthy mind. So really, we're not looking at any crazy tricks here. We're gonna do a meditation in a moment that starts as usual with the breathing, and then we're going to get into something specifically about healing. Um, just a little bit of background for a minute, because I used to, obviously I've had a history of chronic illness going back 30 years, and still have, it's still here. I still have uh, problems with it, and I wrestle with it, and I still think, come on, enough of this. This is enough already. Give me a break. And I've been in touch with a lot of you that have the same kind of things, or they get in touch with me. But more and more in the last few years, I've realized that this connection with body and mind. And this isn't to say that these maladies don't start with something like an injury or a virus, or something physical that's happening in the body. But quite often we get into a loop, we get into a cycle, a way of thinking that it forms a pathway in our minds, a pathway in our brains, and it's rather unhealthy. And I've noticed, I acknowledge that this has happened with me, that maybe this pathway is formed out of fear of this thing happening again and again. It's the fear of the fatigue, the fear of the feeling sick all the time. And it's almost like the mind and the body learn, um, they learn the cycle. And, I know when I feel the anxiety coming on, when I get, when occasionally I get panic attacks. I used to get panic attacks. My physical health would just tumble. And, you could plot it on a graph. And I know that getting ill in itself is the most anxious time and the most difficult thing. But if we can somehow halt the tumbling mind, the fearful mind, this anxiety that goes on in our minds with what we have, then perhaps our brains can learn to break the cycle. And in fact, it's been proven scientifically that symptoms can actually be reduced with this kind of mind training. I mean, that's just I'm just hinting at something there. There are um, um, that there's methods that I'm not qualified to go into, but what I am hopefully qualified to do is just get into a bit of a meditation with you just now, and that is got to be the pretty much the best thing for us. So let's get comfortable in a seated position if you can. We don't want to fall asleep right just now. So if you can, with a straight back but not tense, and maybe your hands in your laps, and we're going to either close our eyes or keep our eyes slightly opened. And so we're going to start like we have done the last few weeks. We're going to start with focusing on the breathing. And that's just a way of bringing our minds to concentrate on one thing before we move on. So if you can start bringing your focus on your breath, and just let the rest of the day slip away just now. Let's just come into this moment, confident that this is the very best thing that you can do for yourself right now. Without affecting your breathing, just start to follow it. Just at the tip of your nose. The warm breath out, cooler breath in. If your mind starts to wander, just bring it back to the breath. There's nothing so important that can't wait. This is the most important thing. Once more, just bring your mind back to the sensation of your breath. So now you can acknowledge that you found, I hope, a little bit of peace here. We're just going to remain in this place for a few minutes. As far as healing is concerned, you're already doing it. Just remaining with this peaceful sensation is probably doing great things to your body. Truly giving it the best chance to heal. This isn't just rest, this is super rest. An amazing chance for you to tell your body that actually things are okay. That it's going to be okay. That you can handle this. And that's so empowering, because if you can truly find peace of mind right now with all the circumstances that are happening in your life, then it's only going to get better as you go forward. Because your body knows how to heal. Just give it the best chance. And if at the very least, all you would like to hear is somebody saying, I hope you feel better, then I definitely hope that you feel better. So let's definitely dedicate these last 10 or 15 minutes to our own health and happiness, and to the health and happiness of all the people round about us. And in your own time, I mean, you can either stay as you are if you're feeling, if you're in a good place. If you feel you're in a good healing place, then by all means, just keep your eyes closed. I'm going to open mine. I'm going to chat for a bit more. You know, when when the news of the virus first started coming to this country, I heard some early on. I heard some very sensible advice which was assume that you have the virus and don't give it to anybody else. I remember being in, the first time I was in the Far East when I was in Japan, and you would see people wearing masks on the subway or on trains and at the airport. And we would, you would never see that in Britain at that time. And I guess if you saw somebody with a mask before this, I would have assumed that it was because they didn't want to catch something. But in Japan, in the Far East, they wear masks because maybe they have a cold or something, or they're just getting over a cold and they don't want to give anybody, they don't want to pass it on. So there is an altruistic notion to wearing masks. And, I haven't put on a mask here because I still kind of feel that, people would be like, oh no. Well, I think people would think, do you know what? Just forget what I said about the mask. You wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. I just haven't got around to it yet. But I think that notion of um, assuming you have something and not wanting to pass it on, that's it's a great philosophy, I think, to carry around you anyway. I mean, often in the Buddhism classes I've been to, they seem to say, you can't do anything about other people. Just focus on yourself. Make yourself right. Do the right thing, act the right way, be kind, etc. Just, you really can't change other people, maybe by example. So get yourself right first. Just focus on yourself. That's almost like the best thing you can do. Obviously, that doesn't mean to say that you're not helping other people when you can, but just in the way that your attitude is. And I think when I first used to go to these classes, I used to occasionally think, yeah, but why have I got to do all the changing? It's those folk over there that are assholes. I'm not an asshole. Why have I got to change? Why have I got to accept everything? But the thing is about assholes. I mean, I'm being facetious here. I don't believe anybody is that all the way through. But when people are behaving badly towards you, they don't, they probably don't care, or they don't get it. They'll probably never get it. You could die waiting for them to appreciate the harm that they're doing to you. So you're much better to try and just sort of accept it and move on and get on with your life and just ignore them. I know that's the kind of thing that your mom would say when you were 6 years old. Just ignore them. But it is great if you can. Especially as well, I would say if you have some sort of anguish or resentment that you're carrying around with you towards another person. I heard this once. It's almost like you're carrying a burning hot stone in your hand that's actually on fire. You're carrying this around with you all the time, hoping to randomly see this person and throw the stone at them. But all the while, you've burnt a hole right through your hand. So you get the kind of metaphor. You are you're only harming yourself if you're carrying around resentment towards other people. And see if you can let that go. It's really, it's such a weight off. It's much healthier. It's just one of the things I think, that I did to be able to sort of feel much better, get on the right path. So we're nearly done for today. So I hope you got a little piece of peace, and if you did, I guarantee that was a healing moment. And if you can find peace right now when all this stuff is going on, all the corona stuff is going on, then think what you can do when we start to get a little bit more freedom. You're going to be like Nelson Mandela. We're going to walk out of our prison cells. We're going to feel strong. This is, in a sense, it's an opportunity. Okay, that's pretty much all for today. Thank you so much for joining me in a different room. And I don't know what I'm going to do next week. If you do have any questions, then just fire them over to me on Facebook, or I'll tell you my email address. It's stuartmurdoch@gmail.com. So I'll check that out. If you have any questions about you want to ask, or just thoughts that arise, maybe I'll make them part of next week's meditation or something like that. But 2:02. All the best. Stay healthy, stay well, and I hope I'll see you next week. Bye.